Mr. Dean, thank you very much for agreeing to talk to us about the Jubilee Time Capsule. Would you mind sharing with us a moment in the last 60 years that's been important to you?
Thank you very much. Well, it's a real pleasure to remember this occasion, although it was in many ways a sad and difficult occasion. It was in 1968. I was teaching for 6 months at a school in Kenya, in Nairobi, called Starehe Boys Centre, a remarkable school that had been founded 10 years before, I think in 1959, by Geoffrey Griffin, Geoffrey Guturo, and Joseph Kagubu, who were all born and brought up in Kenya. And what they wanted to do was to take off the streets of Nairobi boys who had lost their families through the Mau Mau rebellion, through the difficulties that Kenya had been through, and were living as orphans on the streets of Nairobi. And they set up the possibility of rescuing these young people from their poverty on the streets and then educating some of them. Save the Children Fund were enormously helpful. Princess Anne, as she then was, visited the school. But many people from around the world were proud of what this school was seeking to do and wanted to support it in various ways. And the year before I was there, in 1968, Robert Kennedy, who was the brother of the assassinated John Kennedy, President of the United States from 1960 to 1963, Robert Kennedy, who'd been his Attorney General and who was now hoping to become President himself, had visited Starehe, and the people there remembered his visit with enormous affection. So when, on the 5th of June 1968, we heard that he had himself been assassinated, there was a terrible wave of shock through the whole school. Now, I was 19, and the director, Geoffrey Griffin, said to me that there needed to be a special off-program afternoon on the 6th of June 1968, and would I please spend an hour or an hour and a half, I can't exactly remember now how long it was, with all those people in the school who were Christians but not Catholics, and talk to them about the assassination of Robert Kennedy, get their reactions, and try to say something to the people there that would be put the thing in a proper context and help them to understand and cope with their reaction. Now, I've been teaching there for 5 or 6 months, and it was an extraordinary thing to be asked to do that when I had no experience of speaking to a very large crowd like that. They were, of course, very cooperative and very interested and very keen to give their memories as well. But they were asking me really difficult theological questions. Why should God allow something like this to happen? And I had to try and give the answers. And I remember feeling tremendous anxiety whether I was giving anything like a coherent answer. Was I saying anything at all useful? But it's a memory that's utterly fixed in my mind. And obviously his assassination was a terrible thing. My time in Kenya was a great joy. And so I remember it with bittersweet memory. Thank you very much.